Good afternoon again, guys. Same day as the one you just see us through, that abandoned farm on the A421 Bletchley to Buckingham Road. We'd already decided our plans for today was to come and have a look at RAF Finmere, what remains of that. So it's pretty much a derelict shell now. There's outbuildings laying around left, right and centre. A lot of it has been bulldozed away to make way for farms, some little housing complexes, but hidden within the woods there is still munitions bunkers, stand and shelters, other lot of sort of old relics, should we say, from the Second World War. This was once a satellite airport for Bicester, which is a lot bigger than this, and it was a training facility for the, I believe it was the Bristol, what were they called? The Bristol engine. I have to think about what the planes were. Blenheims, which is like a medium range bomber, double propeller, medium range bomber called the Bristol Blenheims, and they either a short nose or a long nose, if my memory serves me right. This is going through some of the older RAF books, etc. and whatever. But anyhow, this was a training facility here. They didn't actually have any missions, so to speak, from this location, but let's go and do this. This here is your control centre, in a sad sorry state for ourselves. I guess it's been 80 odd years. You still see some of the windows. That gaping hole, I wonder whether there was a ledge that went up from that, maybe a veranda area, steel frame staircase leading up to it, possibly not. And the old control tower, the bit at the top there, I don't know what that was used for, but this would have been maybe a planning room, different little other rooms inside. They're basically the control hub of the entire airport, and then the other buildings adjacent in the wooded area would have been where they would have kept munitions for the planes, all out of plain sight, because if the Germans would have seen it and got hold of it, it would have been flattened. Does that actually still even happen, the old Finmere Sunday market? I think a lot of things after the pandemic went over to car boot sales, and I think that's what predominantly happens here. I remember back in the day coming here as a child, maybe 5-6 years old, looking at the cute bunnies, and a guy just walks up, and the guy serving turns around and says, "Oh, I have one of those." He got hold of the bunny, wrung its neck, and the next thing I remember, my dad landing flat out on his arse on the floor because all the kids like myself were crying. Well, that is our way into the control tower, and that's certainly seen better days. And these windows where they've been had the bars put across, this has been done a lot after the time itself. They would have just been the frames there, but all this is just to stop the little Herberts, those who come and tag it, burn it, etc. They're not so much interested about what we do, because we're just sort of bringing history. Well, we're inside. It is leaking like a sieve. You can see that there was steel within the concrete because of the colour of the water on the floor. Old filing cabinets. Yeah, I get a feeling someone's turned up at some point and had a jolly good clean, which is nice of them, because when I've seen this, it's been full of all sorts of junk. And maybe there are people out there that do actually care. You've got the stereotypical green border that you had with military sites back in the day. But these would have just generally been, I guess, offices. The upstairs looking out over the runway, maybe a command centre here, people with radios, and their planes coming in signalling that they're coming into land or they're about to take off, or that there's possibly even enemy in the area. Yeah, that whole ceiling stroke floor does not look too clever. But it's just full of landfill junk. I think this is an old oven from the old market area that someone's just dumped in there. A couple of old propane cylinders, get them ruptured, and this place will go bang. It'll pretty much go off like a torpedo. Guessing that was probably a Kazi at the back there. I'm not going to climb all over this just to see that. And a bit of tagging work. Right, let's venture up to the first floor. You can see it's starting to separate at the side here. Not a lot up here. Some serious cracks. You'd hope that someone might try and save this one day, bring it all back together again. That's your quick way down if the floor gives way. Yeah. But it is concrete. But it's not the same diversity of what they would have used with stone, with castles, etc. Eventually this will crumble. So we have a spaceman and a spaceship. Someone obviously thinks this is UK's version of Area 51, which it certainly ain't. There must have been a way to get up the top. Must have been a ladder at the back or something years ago. Because your runway, which is still used, it's still in use. I believe it's not the north-south, it's the east-west runway, which would be running parallel with the road there, which comes from Finmere up to Buckingham. Now in 1967, the runway that goes down there was used in a stunt in James Bond film with Sean Connery, You Only Live Twice. And there was a plane crash on the runway, and that actually took place here. And I said, this is your opening, leading out to the fields and the woods beyond. I do wonder if it had something coming out. You know, like sometimes you get them steel staircases that come out and they've got a load of stairs going down. Whether that perhaps was like that back in the day. I don't know. If anyone knows, let us know. This sort of thing we'll be looking for in the wooded area, if some still exist. These are Nissan, not spelt like Nissan like the car, but S-S-E-N. And these would have been communal huts, like canteen areas, living quarters for the servicemen, etc. Scattered about, not directly on the airport itself. There are some scattered out like Great Horwood, Winslow area. Paul went there the other day and actually had the stand-and shelters, which a stand-and shelter, if you think about the Anderson shelter, they were like a little flat pack that everyone got who had their own house and wanted a shelter. A stand-and shelter was more purpose-built, made of concrete, and were made to size, and they could be up to 20-30 foot long. These are your Bristol Blenheims, which were the training aircraft that they used to use here. That's a short nose, and it's got the looks of something pretty aggressive, but still pretty cool. I don't think I've ever seen one. There might be one at Hendon. I am due to visit there at some point because I want to see the B-52s, the B-17s, etc. Alright, let's go and see if we can find any outbuildings. It's pretty boggy and flooded out there. We've had to make our way through half of this lot just to get here. So we'll certainly be binging the old trainers afterwards because they're a mess. So down these stairs, out the door, and let's go and see what we can find. This, I believe, what we're coming up to is probably an old munitions bunker. We're in the back of an area now where they do paintball and airsoft. You can see there on the post there, coloured paint where the pellets have come out. Whether anyone's actually playing the game today or not, we don't know. They should know that we're civilians, as they call it. But yeah, this would have been a storage bunker. I'm going to walk all the way around it. So you would have had live ammunition in there for the aircraft stored. for its time and need. I've been in a few of these in Salsey Forest. That is your glass door entrance into the munitions bunker. Don't need to go in there, there's nothing in there, guys. As I said, there are a few structures about. What these are or were, God only knows. Someone out there will know what they were. It's just weird that it had like the tower at the side. And there's another building over there. Apart from that, around this section, as you loop around the back of the Woodhead area there was a load of Nissan huts, but they've all been demolished. And this is all Second World War infrastructure. We'll certainly have a look in anyway. Paul's going in first. And I'm right behind. One of these chicken characters again. Wow, there's a serious lot of moss growing around here. Not a lot to it, but said it still is history. Again, your half green military walls. I don't know why there was like that. I suppose it's just something of the time, but everywhere's got it. Bletchley Park, Sywell. This reminds me of something we see at Upwood. That was a good explore that day. What is that? Sort of a steel frame. That's certainly seen better days, that's for sure. I certainly believe that to be old military. It does look like an old farmhouse as well though, but it's just where it's located and the time period. That says maybe, I don't know, officers building. Could be absolutely anything, to be honest with you. It's quite big.
Yeah, definitely big.
And there's another wall adjacent here. So we'll have a look there quickly. I think it's just pretty much a wall. And then we'll go down and have a look at the building, whatever it was. Yeah, it was military because you can see the bits of the site. That could even have been an old chapel, a military chapel on site. It just got that opening. Really strange. This again, like before, is an old munitions dump. So it's certainly military. And I said I'm not going to make my way through there because these things is nature's way of keeping you out. The bramble, etc. It just sticks to you and rips you to pieces. What was this, guys? We know we had the control tower, which was obviously big. But in some ways this is actually bigger. Would it have been a command centre? Who knows? Certainly seen better days and overgrown. Tagged up. Jeez, look at that crack. And that is saying it had a large doorway. So maybe they just kept military vehicles inside it. Not planes, but something. Possibly a tank. Who knows? See what I mean about these brambles? They're absolutely treacherous. All these sharp barbs that stick out, grab you as you're going past and won't let go. either rip your clothing or rip your flesh. And all that probably just to see in the door with nothing there. And it's wrapped around your feet, annoying little things. Okay, there's a couple of little side rooms. And it would have had another floor at some point as well. Cute little holly bush surviving right there. Very much in amongst a load of more military ammo bunkers, etc. This area is now used for your airsoft or paintball. I think there's maybe 4 or 5 companies up in this area. Very flooded. So we gingerly make our way through. Just throw in a few more little bits before we call it quits for the day. Bit over there as well. Guessing this could have been some sort of old pumping house because it's full of water underneath, and I think there's electronics boxes with great big turn on handles to the side of it. Obviously all the workings have long gone or long perished and rotten away, but it's still interesting if you're into military history. More of a close-up of what your bunkers would look like. These would be easier to get into, but as I said before, there's nothing in them. But you would have found that there would have been just stacks of ammo. And the idea of these is just like a little bit of a blast wall, just a little bit of protection. The old tank tracks there. What was at some point some sort of military vehicle possibly, or has it been made? Hard to say, to be honest with you. This here is like your old ramps that you get in the MOT centre. Obviously for large military vehicles, they would either drive up or reverse up that, and the people get in the pit to the side and work on them. And I think we are pretty much done, to be honest with you. Once you've seen one of these bunkers, they're pretty much the same. And everything that's on beyond that in the skirmish area or the paintball bit, there's like I think a replica of a submarine, and there is an old small service plane, etc., that's all dumped in along there, where the guys, who rightly so, go and have some fun shooting each other up with their paintballs and their airsoft. I don't mind that whatsoever, and I'm sure they don't mind us just walking around just getting a bit of photography and film work done. But yeah, apart from that, these, you'd be seeing these all day long, and one's exactly the same as the next one. And with that, guys, they're going to call it quits. Paul's knackered, I'm knackered. We've had a right sort of trek through a squelchy field just to get to the control centre. There was some other outbuildings to the outside, but a lot of it's been demolished nowadays. But we're happy with what we found, and I think it makes for good content if you're into your military, your RAF history, etc. This place, as I said, it was a training facility rather than seeing normal action, and it had its Bristol Blenheim short nose and long nose medium range bombers which they were trained on. And with that, guys, take a look at Adventures of Paul's channel, check out mine as well for everything else that I do, I like to switch it up now and again. I'll do urbex, I'll do paranormal, I'll do days out. I spend a bit of time in America filming over there. And with that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your week. We will see you in the movies. Bye for now.
Oh.